Hey, it's Jeff with ID10T Garage, and we're back out here with the 71 Torino GT. Now, we've got a lot of work to do on this thing, so we're going to get to it pretty quickly. We got to get everything ready for this cowl to be put in, but we're going to find rust along the way. We got to do a lot of patching. We're going to find it constantly. We got to clean the metal. We got to get it prepped for welding. You got to fit everything, got to measure everything. So that's what we're going to be doing in this week's episode. So let's get to it.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stop.
Hey everybody, we're back out here. About to start to get some work done over here. Want to try to get this done before we start fitting the cowl. As you can see, it's just rotted throughout here, so I'm going to cut a piece of this and start with this small section right here. Try to do some flatter areas so I'm not, messing with too much of the curvature. So we're going to try to do this little area here. So we'll see how it goes. All right, we put a nice plate in all the way up to here, basically two different plates, a small one and a bigger one, and then kind of welded it in and hammered it down, smoothed it out as much as we could. Still got to fill in some places. There's a little spot right here that I need to put some weld in and then grind back down. It's nothing perfect, but at least we don't have big ass rust holes anymore, and it's more solid structure now, so that was the point. Still got some work. This thing needs some repairs. I don't know exactly how it's supposed to fit, but we'll figure that out eventually. It's probably all for the day. I'm exhausted. Been up since about 3 a.m. So just get a good quick hour or so in and we'll come back tomorrow. Hey everybody, we're back out here in the garage. About to get to some more work on this little section over here. So like I said, we're going to flip this around and I'm going to try to recreate this lip here. So I'm going to use a comparison over to there and try to drill this out, clean it up, and get the hole back here that's supposed to be here. And I'm going to use this beam right here to be my measurement. That way I can basically use this as a measurement to where the hole alignment is from the other side. So that's what I'm about to do. So it's going to be a lot of measuring and a little bit of welding, but we'll see how this turns out. Well, I lied. Instead of making the lip, which I did try to start making, I ended up just fitting the lower cowl and basically getting these aligned on either side. So I used a bar, essentially, to get my measurements down. So this is actually the wrong bar. I'll walk over to the other side. and see where I did. Aha! So I've got this bar, and essentially I line it up with this, and I get it nice and squared up at the top and aligned with the rail, and I basically try to get the mark perfect with the edge. So as you can see, it's a little bit off there, but if we put it there, line it up, you can kind of see where it is. So on the other side, I did the same thing, except for we flipped it around. So we have a mark for each side, and yet again, we're a little bit off. But when I measure each one, they're right at about 22 inches. So I've got it even on each side, which is what I wanted to do. And I got that side lined up with the actual lip hole right here. So that was a good marker and indicator on that side for me to line up to. And this side, I don't have that, so it's just kind of, I got it where I wanted, put 2 sheet metal screws on, one on each side, and we've got it at least fitted for now. It lines up pretty well with the edge lip, which isn't the way they do it stock in factory. Usually the lip extends out from the firewall from this edge, but you know, it looks pretty good. I'm still working on alignment pieces. There's those brackets on the inside I gotta bolt in and see how those fit and all that good stuff that I'm kind of concerned about, but all in all, the fitment looks pretty dang decent. Hey everybody, we're back out here about to do some more cowl fitment. We did that yesterday too, but I magically didn't record any of it, so yay me and yay next week's video. But that's what we're about to work on. We might even do some weld through primer once we get things fit. I gotta check some more measurements. I had a couple guys from the Torino group get me some measurements so I can kind of get a idea where the top of the cowl is supposed to be on the lower half, because you really want to be pretty precise. I mean, there's going to be differences, but with it being the repops that are new, we don't know exactly how they line up. It doesn't line up like the factory, it seems. Factory, you had about a 1/4 inch of lip or a little bit less hanging out from the firewall. It looks like it's going to be pretty even on the repop, so just trying to make sure we don't get this thing all fugazi. So let's get to it. Well, look, we've found more rot, so I've got to cut a little bit out here and see if I can patch it up. All right, so we got a little patch in there. I inset it and welded in. That way I could not have to worry about, you know, kind of adding a little bit too much extra there. So we'll put a little bit of Bondo in there when it's all said and done, but it's in there now. Now we're about to go over there and basically start cleaning up the metal to get it ready for welding. put some holes in it where I'm going to need to. I'm going to try to use a spot welder, and so I'm not going to have to do a whole lot of holes, but there's some spots that just we're going to have to use the regular welder to spot weld in, just because it's hard to get to, and the big tongs on the spot welder won't work. So that's what we're about to do, just clean it up and probably put some weld through primer on it. Whoo! Here we go. We got it in place. I probably need to put some screws in it and whatnot, but that's the progress for the day. We got a weld through primer. We got a couple bolts on each side to hold it steady, then a bunch of clamps, obviously. Whew, that's a lot of work. I'd love to start welding, but I need to probably put some sheet metal screws in it to hold it in place the way I want to, and then test fit the top. Maybe test fit the windshield once it gets here. So gotta slow and steady sometimes. But man, progress. Hey, thank you everybody for tuning into this week's episode. We got a lot done. We finally got the cowl sitting in place and basically ready to be welded in after doing a lot of measurements, some more patchwork, and getting everything coated with weld through primer. I still got to clean the underside of the firewall lip before we do any welding. I also might put some sheet metal screws in there and test fit the top. I've got a windshield on the way. So that's basically where we have left off. Now next week, that's kind of where we're going to sit. I'm going to have to decide whether I want to go ahead and just weld this bottom panel in, or put some sheet metal screws in there and do some more test fitting, wait on the windshield. I don't know when the windshield is going to get here. It could be a couple weeks, so I might go ahead and just start welding things in. I'm pretty confident after talking to some more people on the Facebook pages and everything about the measurements of where the cowl is supposed to go. I'm pretty happy with the fitment as is. I test fit the gauge cluster just to make sure it still looks like it's supposed to be where it is. So we're looking pretty good for the most part. So anyways, we'll see you next week. Like, subscribe, and comment as you go. And don't forget to check out some of my other videos. In the meantime, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping out.